we're going to step back and look at something really fundamental: the Indian legal system itself. India is unique. Our framework has evolved in its own distinct way, based on its history and past experience. As an investor, you would do well taking some basic measures, work with the system. With the right structuring and diligence, India becomes a far more predictable environment. But to succeed, investors must understand the nuances and differences between India and their home markets. Hello and welcome back to the Veyrah Law series. In today's episode, we're going to step back and look at something really fundamental: the Indian legal system itself. If you are a foreign business that has wondered what the system in India is like, you will surely find this video useful. I'm Ajay Joseph, a partner at Veyrah Law. We're a law firm based in Mumbai, India. You can find more information about us on our website. Link is in the description below. Before we start off today's topic, a quick reminder again. Please read through the disclaimers. These videos are not advertisements or solicitations for work, and nothing here should be treated as legal advice. Please do consult your own advisors before acting on any information here. With that out of the way, let's get to our topic for the day. If you're someone looking to do business in India or already operating here, it is important to understand that the legal system here is quite different from what you may be used to. Many developed markets like the US, UK, Australia, and Canada function under the common law system, where judicial precedents play a central role. But not all developed countries do. For example, many European nations like France and Germany, or developed East Asian economies like Japan and South Korea, follow civil law systems that are more codified and less precedent-driven. India is unique. While we inherited the common law heritage from the United Kingdom, our framework has evolved in its own distinct way, based on its history and past experience. And as the saying goes, the life of the law has not been logic, it has been experience. A brief look into our history will explain why India's legal system looks the way it does today. Indian laws were largely made by the British colonial government. Many statutes from that era, like the Transfer of Property Act 1882, the Indian Contract Act 1872, the Indian Trust Act 1882, or the Companies Act of 1913, laid the foundation for modern Indian legislation. And many still exist in updated or amended forms. We gave ourselves a written constitution inspired by the American and British constitutions, the supreme guiding law for all spheres of life in India. The fundamental rights became a cornerstone of the Indian Constitution. The Constitution created an independent judiciary led by the Supreme Court and High Courts, who became guardians of fundamental rights. What is striking to note is that the Indian Supreme Court is widely considered as one of the most powerful Supreme Courts globally, owing to its inherent powers under the Constitution, the famous Article 142, giving it far-reaching powers to meet the ends of justice. A topic for another episode itself. While India developed a constitution based on concepts of personal liberties, inspired by the American Constitution, the economic model and mindset adopted was in marked contrast with those of the American system. India's economy after independence was shaped by a socialist welfare state ideology. Borrowing from the Soviet model, the state controlled most enterprises and licenses. Private industry was heavily restricted until the 1991 liberalization reforms, when foreign investment and deregulation began to open the market. That said, vestiges of the old socialist system still remain. This history explains why India has both a democratic common law foundation, but still a bureaucratic socialist legacy, and its far-reaching implications for investors. Let's see how the system impacts you as an investor in India. The Constitution created a federal structure, dividing lawmaking powers across three lists. The Union List is the list of laws where the central government has the power to make the laws, such as defense, foreign affairs, aviation, insurance, or banking. Then comes the State List. It contains matters where the state government has sole authority to make laws. with respect to the police, land, and local infrastructure. And then there's the concurrent list. It is that list of matters where both the central government and state government can make laws. But if there is a conflict, the central law prevails. It contains matters like labor, forests, and marriage-related laws. What does this mean for you as a foreign investor? Depending on your sector, you may have to work with the central or state government and the corresponding bureaucracy. For example, sectors like aviation, defense, and insurance fall under central control. If you were to go into banking and finance, on the other hand, they are regulated by central institutions like the Reserve Bank of India. Manufacturing and real estate related businesses, they involve state level laws, particularly for land acquisition, registration, labor, and environmental approvals. Large infrastructure projects, they often require both central and state clearances. Another important feature is India's system of approvals and constant interface with quasi-judicial authorities. Before you start most types of businesses, you'll interact with regulators, such as the Reserve Bank of India, the Securities Exchange Board of India, Competition Commission, or state development authorities. These bodies often function as both regulators and quasi-judicial bodies. For many foreign businesses, this can be quite surprising because it's not only about getting approvals once, but about ongoing compliance. But India's welfare state ideology will explain some other parts of the story. The labor system. India has an extensive and sometimes onerous set of labor regulations designed to protect workers. While reforms are underway, these rules continue to make manufacturing and downsizing difficult compared to other emerging markets. Reporting and disclosure is another standard feature. Forms, filings, and statutory reporting are prevalent across almost every law. For example, if you form a company in India, major details like directors, shareholding, corporate structure are publicly accessible on the Ministry of Corporate Affairs online registry. This reduces corporate secrecy, which foreign investors sometimes find surprising. The law enforcement in India also operates at two levels, depending on the subject. The police and local administration are under state governments. Agencies like Income Tax Department and the Securities Regulator and the Goods and Services Tax Authorities are under the central government. Most state and central authorities have very wide statutory powers, including search and seizure. Many businesses encounter taxation or compliance scrutiny in the ordinary course of business. In all of this, let's understand how the judicial system fits in. The good news is that India's judicial system is largely independent. You can challenge government action before high courts and the Supreme Court. The challenge is that the litigation takes time and costs money. Judicial delays remain a major systemic issue, but nevertheless, courts remain a vital check on regulatory and executive power. So to sum up, India follows a common law system with its own nuances, shaped by our constitution, federal democracy, and a socialist legacy. As an investor, you would do well taking some basic measures. The first and foremost would be to map your sector. Check whether your business falls under the union list, the state list, or a concurrent jurisdiction. Plan for compliance. Regulatory approvals aren't a one-time thing. They're ongoing. Factor in labor and disclosure rules. Expect higher transparency and stricter employee protections than in many markets. Always have a strategy for litigation. Courts are independent but slow. Build delays into your business risk models. Lastly, work with the system. With the right structuring and diligence, India becomes a far more predictable environment. As I keep saying, the Indian growth story is real and compelling. But to succeed, investors must understand the nuances and differences between India and their home markets. As the saying goes, strategy is about making choices, trade-offs. It's about deliberately choosing to be different. We hope this video gave you a better broad understanding of the Indian legal system. In our next video, we will start looking into the legal regime in India that applies specifically for foreign investors. And if you found this video useful or know others who may find it useful, please do share it. If you have any comments or questions, put them in the comments section and someone from the team will definitely get back. Thank you for watching and see you in the next episode.